Be a big day here at the Chad Daybell trial. Closing arguments are scheduled to begin at 10 a.m. and we will hear what the prosecution and defense have to say when this case comes to a close. I want to bring in Ray here. Ray, you've been here how many days? Every day almost?
Yeah, I think I missed one day.
One day.
Yeah.
And you were here almost every day last year.
That's a fact.
And what's brought you back for year number 2?
Oh, it's compelling. How could you not be here? Nate's here. I mean, that's pretty much all you got to say. You know, there's quite a camaraderie of the peeps that have been here last year as well. And, you know, without stroking you, you're part of it, Nate. You really are. I mean, you're an international celebrity.
I don't know about that, but today we're going to have closing arguments at 10 o'clock. Any prediction as to what the defense and prosecution are how they're going to close this thing out?
Boy, I can tell you, I don't know how they're going to do it, but I know how I hope they do it. And some of the big things that hit home for me are, what was her stomach contents? There's no Big Mac in there. That food doesn't go away.
Garth Daybell had testified he went to get his mom at McDonald's the night before she died.
That's right. So,
and the coroner said there was no Big Mac.
That doesn't add up. And interestingly, the defense didn't try to poke holes in any of that. That wasn't mentioned.
Right. You think they'll tie that in then, the prosecution?
Man, I laid awake in bed last night hoping that was going to be brought up, but yeah. I don't know.
How about defense closing?
Wow, so I've said all along, the analogy that I brought was, if you take Mylar balloons and you shred them up and you throw it up in the air and a whole bunch of it, it obscures the radar. That's all he's doing, is just throwing Mylar shreds up in the air. Just something to get you only need one juror, right?
Right, one juror. So let's say opening arguments start at 10. Let's say they wrap around noon, maybe 12:30. Any prediction on when this jury will have a verdict?
Yeah, it won't be today.
You don't think so?
No, I just can't imagine that it would be. I'm hoping I'm wrong. We have other things to do. Yeah. So my prediction will be tomorrow, later in the afternoon. Yeah.
Okay, you got a ticket for today?
No, Nate, I don't have a ticket.
Okay, you better get in there and get in the standby line. They're blowing up my phone. Thank you, Ray. All right, so I have a ticket. I'll be in the courtroom. And what we can expect is at 10 o'clock, as I mentioned, the prosecution will give their closing argument. Last year for Lori Vallow, it took about an hour 15. Then the defense will give their closing argument, John Pryor. Last year, the defense took about an hour. Different attorneys, obviously, but about an hour. Then the prosecution has a chance to do a final closing statement after the defense. Last year, they took about 15, 20 minutes. So all in all, we're looking at about 2.5 hours total for prosecution, defense, and prosecution again. Meaning, if there's not a break in there, this jury could have the case by around 1. Now, I do want to say also, though, the first thing the judge is going to do is going to read the jury their instructions. So that will be first, and that will take probably an hour. There's 41 jury instructions the judge is going to go through to help the jury understand exactly how to deliberate, what to consider when they are deliberating, go through all the charges. So that'll probably go till 11-ish, and then the closing arguments will begin. So really this jury might not have the case until 2-ish. Just my predictions, you know, everything could change as is prone to do in these matters. And then we wait once the jury has it. As Ray just said a minute ago, he doesn't think a verdict will come down today, but it's possible, or the jury could go back, sleep on it, and meet again tomorrow. Again, if you don't have a ticket, all the tickets are gone. The courtroom's going to be packed. You'll want to watch at home, and we'll be streaming that starting around 9:45. We'll start our live stream up on East Idaho News. Then you can begin watching at 10 o'clock. And then if a guilty verdict does come back, and if the jury finds that there were aggravating factors on the murder charges, we will begin the penalty phase of this case, where the decision will come down to basically, should Chad Daybell get life in prison, or should he get the death penalty? And that could take several days as witnesses are called, victims are called, and they will get to say their piece to the jury. The jury will get to hear these victim impact statements, and they'll get to hear from people that, you know, on Chad Daybell's side, that maybe his children that say they want their father spared. They don't want him to have the death penalty. So that's what's happening out here. As you can see, it's kind of kind of quiet this morning. Again, proceedings don't start until 10 o'clock, so I imagine more people will be here later. More media should be arriving soon. We'll be out here. Jordan's here with me behind the camera, following every step of the way, and we hope that you'll tune in. And if you can't watch, I'll be posting live updates as I have done every day of the trial, and we'll get you covered. So for now, I better head inside, get my seat. Reporting at the Ada County Courthouse, I'm Nate Eaton. Stay with us all day long. You never know